Hello again, guys. I come at you today with an interesting video. It's been, I don't know, 3 weeks or so since I got an email from a company called TokyoFlash. And effectively they said, we like your content, we want to send you a watch to review. It seemed a little off the wall, so I started looking through their stuff and I found one that honestly I thought would be perfect to talk about on this channel. So I, contacted them. They shipped it to me. It took about 2 weeks to get here, and as you can see, here it is. This is the Kisai download watch. And what makes it unique and special is that it is essentially a USB drive. Let's go ahead and unbox it. We'll just show you what it looks like and some of the uniqueness to it. I don't know. Let's just see what's in the box. As you can see, it's kind of already been opened. Yeah, I couldn't wait. I just wanted to make sure everything looked fine because it came from Singapore, so I wanted to make sure the package was fine. Here's the instruction manual. I will definitely have to be reading that. As you can see there in the middle, maybe, if it's in focus, there's a micro SD card inside of the watch. And you can probably see, this looks kind of funny. You'll see here in a minute, the watch itself, it's not normal. So a little foam, not a big deal. Here is the watch. We'll come back to that in a minute. We got a lot more foam. Great to have lots of packaging just for that long of a journey. Here we have the USB cable, which is what we actually use to hook it up to the computer to get data onto and off of it. Pull it out here, you can see, what looks like a 3.5mm headphone jack with USB on the other end, although, it appears to actually have a little bit of rust on the USB. Hopefully that won't affect anything. And this other little package came with it, with another USB cable. And this one, upon first inspection, this one appears to be in just fine shape, so probably will be using that one more often than not. The biggest problem that I have with this thing so far is just having this instead of a micro USB, but I'm sure this makes it a little bit easier to self-contain inside the watch. The other thing that is in here, as you can see, is an extra cover for the watch and a screwdriver. So you can use this to take the back off of it. Alrighty, and after clearing everything away, as you can see here, I've got the watch. Band on it, it's solid, it's got plastic all over it, so I don't exactly know how strong it feels, but it feels quite sturdy. It's got little screw divot point kind of things in the side where you can take out the extra links, and as you can see here in a moment, I'm gonna have to take out some links, because don't worry, my arms are hairy, we'll deal with that shortly. But I've got lots and lots of extra space in here, I'm gonna have to deal with that. Not a big deal though. But what makes this watch kind of unique, as you can probably tell, you can't really read what it says right now. It's one of the little unique faces on the watch, but if you tilt it more and more, you can start to see the numbers squish up and look more normal. The time, of course, is not correct. I think it says 3:03, but I'm at a funny angle right now, so it could say B03. I don't know. On the side, we've got a button here that will take you into the light, and then we got another button that takes you into date and alarm, and back to the watch. But then, the unique feature, there we go, this little clip here, which I'm having to kind of fiddle around the camera for, that is where our USB cable will plug in. So, we'll plug in right here, and then it can go to a computer from there. And additionally, we'll go ahead and put that back so I don't lose this little cap, but like I said, there was a spare in there, so when, not if, I lose this, I'll have another. But at this point, there's teeny tiny little screws here in the four corners you could take off with a little screwdriver that will allow you to see the SD card slot. So I'm going to go ahead and do that very quickly just so you can see what it looks like. There you go. And as you can hopefully see, the back did come off. It says, actually it says upload. I thought the name of the watch was download. Maybe it's my mistake there. Sorry about that. Here is the micro SD slot. Here's the replaceable battery. I believe the battery is supposed to last for 12 months on a charge, so you should be able to just pop it out. It's a standard watch battery, 2032 or 2025 if I remember right. It's $1 or $2 at the store, not a big deal. Now one thing I will say, so far, these screws, if you can't see the screw, it's because it's practically not there. There's 4 of them, they have teeny tiny heads on them, and again, that's completely understandable because of the size of the watch, but I'm fairly certain I've almost stripped out the heads on every one of them trying to get them out, and I applied very little force to even try to do that. So this is not something I'm going to be doing quite often. Inside the watch itself, it's supposed to have a 2 GB micro SD card. Oh wow, the entire innards of the watch come out. There we go. So just sort of pulled this way with my nail and it came that way then up. The card itself just kind of falls out. It sits here on these little pins, and as you can see, it is a SanDisk 2GB card. Probably can't see that because it's little tiny text, but SanDisk 2GB micro SD. I have an 8GB I'll probably replace this with, but again, I don't know if I want to take the back off after I put it back together. Alrighty, and with that, I actually took a few minutes, hooked this up to the computer using the provided USB cable, and I was able to transfer files to and from the included micro SD card. Transferred about a 500 megabyte file. It was going, writing speed was about 7.5 megabytes per second. Read speed was, I think, in the neighborhood of 15 to 16 megabytes per second, so definitely not too bad, not too shabby. Took all the plastic off the outside, and the band feels nice, feels solid. I'm going to have to take, like I said, some of the links out to actually make it fit my wrist, but we will deal with that in due time. I will say I'm not looking forward to ever having to pull those screws out again, simply because it was kind of a chore, and I think one of them, at least, the head is stripped out. The three of them went in just fine, but this one was a little bit of a chore to get back in. But other than that, yeah, very nicely built. I'm a big fan of the look, aside from it being kind of large. That's not such a big deal just with the way that smartwatches have been nowadays. And definitely looking forward to using this at work, using this with desktops and whatever. If I put a larger memory card in it, if I can actually get the back off and back on again, large micro SD card, like a 32 gig micro SD card in this would be ridiculous to be able to hook up to a PC. Might actually be an interesting project. Put a, I don't know, I guess I could probably do it on a 2 gig. Put a live Linux distro on here and use it to boot a PC for repair stuff. That'd be amazing for IT repair work. Have just an entire suite of repair tools on a USB drive. That would be very, very useful, in fact. So that's going to be all. My first impressions, like I said, I like the build quality. It's very solid, aside from those little screws on the back. The watch face, it's going to take some getting used to, but I can definitely read it at this angle. You may not be able to because it's a little bit shallow. There we go. And the whole idea that you can connect it up to your PC and use it as a micro SD reader, that's just cool to me. So yeah, that's going to be all for me for today. May do a more in-depth review on this after I've used it for a while. But for the time being, go ahead and check out their site. I'll have a link to this watch and their website down in the video description. Thank you so much for watching, though. I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.